Okay. So, like, who doesn't love a good roast chicken, right? That crispy skin, the juicy meat. But sometimes I'm not really up for cranking up the oven. It can be such a whole thing.
Yeah, I totally get that.
But that's what's so great about this deep dive. We're going to unlock the secrets to amazing air fryer roast chicken. A whole chicken in the air fryer, crispy, juicy, and we're going to explore a recipe that makes it all happen crazy fast.
And what makes air fryers so perfect for this is that they're basically like little convection ovens. So they're circulating hot air all around the food, and that gets you that perfect even cook.
Okay.
That circulating air is the key to getting that crispy skin we all love because it helps render the fat and gets those like nice golden brown results.
Okay, so we've got the right tool. What about the recipe itself? Like, what makes this one so special?
Well, this recipe is fantastic because it's so simple, but it's got a couple of like pro tips that make a huge difference. One is a super simple dry brine. And trust me, you will be amazed at how important it is to really thoroughly pat the chicken dry. Like that is going to get you next level crispiness.
Oh, wow, wait, hold on. I need to stop you right there for a second. I am so guilty of rushing through recipe prep, so why does that seemingly insignificant little step make such a difference?
All right, so imagine you're trying to get a good sear on a steak, but it's got moisture on it.
Right.
You're not going to get a nice crust. You're going to get a steam bath.
Okay.
And it's the same with the air fryer and the chicken. Every little drop of moisture on that chicken skin basically turns to steam in the air fryer, and that keeps the skin from browning the way we want it to.
So by making sure the chicken is super dry, we're really setting ourselves up for that crispy skin.
Exactly.
That's amazing. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah. And speaking of flavor, let's talk about this dry brine. It uses garlic powder and onion powder, and here's the secret weapon, smoked paprika.
Oh, smoked paprika.
Yeah.
Now, that is an ingredient I can get behind.
Yeah.
I bet that adds a really nice depth of flavor.
Oh, absolutely, it does. Smoked paprika just brings this warm, smoky flavor that you just can't beat. It adds complexity without being too overpowering, you know?
It's all about the nuance.
Yes.
Okay, so we've patted our chicken dry, seasoned it up with that spice blend. What's the next step in our air fryer chicken journey?
This is where the recipe gets even more interesting. You're actually going to cook the chicken breast side down first.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
See, I would have thought you'd want it breast side up, so why the change?
It's a great question, and it all comes down to how chicken cooks. Chicken breasts, as much as we love them, they can dry out, especially bone-in, which is what we're doing here.
Right.
So by starting breast side down, we're using the chicken itself as a shield. This lets the thighs and legs cook a bit while protecting the breast from the direct heat of the air fryer.
Oh, that is so smart. So it's all about strategic heat distribution. I love these insider tips.
Yes. It's like we're hacking the recipe for the best possible outcome. And here's another tip. Once the chicken is perfectly cooked, don't you dare cut into it right away. We need to let that chicken rest.
Ugh, I know. Patience isn't my strong suit when there's delicious food involved. But, all right, why is this resting period so important?
So think of it like this. When you run a race, you don't just jump into another one, right? You give your body time to recover.
Right.
Well, same with the chicken.
So we're giving our air fryer chicken some downtime after its little sauna session?
Yeah.
Okay, I love that analogy. But really, what's the science behind letting it rest? Why is that so crucial?
So while that chicken's in the air fryer cooking away, its muscle fibers are working hard, right? And all those juices that make it so flavorful, they get pushed towards the center. Now, if we cut into it right away, all those juices, they're going to end up on the cutting board instead of in our mouths, and nobody wants that.
Okay, you've convinced me. I'm letting it rest.
Yeah.
No more sacrificing those juices. So before we get into side dishes, I want to circle back to the chicken itself. The recipe calls for a 3-4 pound bird. Is there any particular reason for that size?
There you go, thinking like a true deep diver. Air fryers, even the big ones, have their limits. A 3-4 pound chicken, that's like the Goldilocks size. Not too big, not too small. It'll fit nicely in most air fryer baskets, cooks evenly, and lets that hot air circulate the way it needs to.
Gotcha. So we're maximizing our air fryer space. Makes sense. And speaking of maximizing, I gotta say, I'm still hung up on patting the chicken dry. Is it really that big of a deal?
It might seem like a small thing, but trust me, it makes a world of difference. Think back to that steak example. Moisture equals steam, and steam equals no sear. It's the same idea here. Patting the chicken dry means that the hot air from the air fryer can work its magic on the skin. That's how we get that crispy, golden brown, delicious masterpiece.
So we're not just talking a quick dab with a paper towel here. We're talking bone dry, like desert dry.
You got it. We're prepping this chicken for its close-up. It's got to look its best, right? And after the VIP drying treatment, it's time for the flavor party. Garlic powder, onion powder, and of course, the smoked paprika.
Oh man, that smoked paprika. I can just imagine that smoky aroma. It's like we're adding a whole other dimension of flavor.
That's exactly it, layering those flavors. We want something that complements the chicken without taking over. The garlic and onion powder give it that savory base, and the smoked paprika brings in the warmth and smokiness. And don't forget about the herbs, the thyme, and rosemary. That nice earthy touch really rounds out the flavor profile.
A symphony of flavor. Okay, so our chicken is prepped like a pro. Let's talk cooking. The recipe says to start breast side down, which, I'll be honest, still feels a little weird. Why mess with the classics?
I love that you're asking the why. Like we said before, chicken breasts tend to cook faster than the thighs and legs, and they can dry out. Especially in an air fryer where the heat's more direct.
Ugh, tell me about it. Dry chicken breast is the worst.
Well, not this time. We're cooking it breast side down, so the chicken itself actually helps us out here. It's like the breast is protected from that direct heat, while the thighs and legs get a head start. Then we flip it over to crisp up the skin and let the breast finish cooking through. Even cooking, maximum flavor, that's what we're going for.
Okay, I'm seeing the method to the madness here.
Huh?
But let me play devil's advocate for a second. Won't the skin on the bottom get soggy if it's sitting in the juices?
That's a great point, but remember what makes the air fryer so special, that amazing circulating hot air. Even though the chicken starts breast side down, that hot air is still flowing all around, crisping up the skin on all sides. Then, when we flip it, the top gets its turn to really crisp up in the second half of the cooking process.
Okay, you've sold me. Flipping that chicken for the win. So we've got our chicken in the air fryer. It's cooking away, smells amazing. How long are we talking time-wise?
So this recipe says about 50 to 60 minutes at 360 degrees.
Okay.
But air fryers, they can be a little different, depending on the size, the power, all that. So the best thing is to use a meat thermometer. Got to make sure that chicken's cooked perfectly.
Absolutely. We're aiming for 165 degrees Fahrenheit in the thickest part of the thigh. Don't just eyeball it. A meat thermometer is key for food safety and for juicy, delicious results.
Couldn't agree more. And then, once that chicken's cooked to perfection, remember what comes next. Our little chicken spa break.
Right. The resting period. We're not skipping that, are we?
No way. We've come too far to rush the grand finale here, right? Remember those hardworking muscle fibers? They need some time to relax and let all those amazing juices redistribute. Think of it like a sponge. You squeeze it, water rushes to the middle, let go, it all evens out again.
Right.
Same with the chicken. That resting period lets those juices flow back through the meat, makes it more tender, flavorful, just all around juicier.
Okay, sold, sold, sold. Resting is happening. Patience for flavor. Now I'm ready to eat. What else are we putting on this plate? You mentioned some side dish ideas. Give me the rundown. What goes with this air fryer chicken masterpiece?
You can never go wrong with classic roasted vegetables. Carrots, potatoes, Brussels sprouts, they all roast up so nicely in the air fryer. You can even cook them right alongside the chicken. Super easy one-pan meal.
Oh, I love that. Less cleaning, more time to enjoy that amazing chicken.
Exactly. And if you want to get a little fancy, you could even toss those veggies in some of that same spice rub we used on the chicken.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Now, if you're looking for something a little lighter, a simple green salad with a nice vinaigrette, that would be a good contrast.
Yeah, some freshness to balance out all that savory goodness. Ooh. And what about that couscous with cranberries and almonds you mentioned earlier?
Oh, yeah. That would be perfect. The cranberries add a little sweetness. The almonds give you that crunch. Goes so well with the savory chicken. It's all about finding those flavor combinations you love.
This whole deep dive has been incredible. I'm so ready to try this recipe myself. You've taken such a classic dish and made it so exciting.
And that's what we love to hear. And remember, don't be afraid to get creative. Make it your own. You could try different herbs and spices in the dry brine, maybe add some lemon zest for a little something extra. The possibilities are endless, really.
I love that. You're giving us the tools to create our own air fryer chicken adventures.
Exactly. Have fun with it, experiment. Who knows, you might discover a new favorite way to enjoy roast chicken.
Well, there you have it, everyone. Air fryer roast chicken. It's easier than you think, packed with flavor, and so versatile. We've covered it all. The steps, the science, all the secrets for that crispy skin and juicy meat. Now get cooking.
And don't forget to share your creations with us on social media. We love seeing your deep dive inspired dishes.
That's right. Tag us in those air fryer chicken photos. We might even feature some of them on our page. Until next time, happy cooking.